Hi, everyone. Hoping that you all are doing well. Thank you for joining us for this discussion. I am really grateful for the opportunity to explore all of these historical dynamics, whether some of them were actual truths about history or rewriting of history. It has been a blessing to explore many of these dynamics. And perhaps the last discussion that we had related to that special book has led to the conclusion that while it's important to address history to the best of our ability, we also need to spend time focusing on the present and how we got here and where we are going from here. And so I want to revisit some of our earlier discussions, very early discussions, related to self love, self care, and not inviting envy. One of the things I realized while exploring all of these historical dynamics and spiritual dynamics and how these things tie together is that there are some things that we are dealing with now that are not just historic, but psychological, and in many instances, psychospiritual. And some of the things that we deal with day to day are rooted in these dynamics. And so if you look at the history, things like colonization, things like enslavement, things like imperialism, you will see elements of the things that we are going to talk about. And so those things typically have been presented on a macro level, but we are going to look at some things that have been going on a micro level and how we might envision our current times and our futures based upon a better understanding of some of the things that we have been dealing with historically and that we are dealing with in current times. Now, you might recall discussions about not inviting envy. And I want to point out that self love and self care are vital. However, it's important to remember that self love, loving yourself, taking care of yourself, can trigger feelings of envy in other people. This is perhaps what took place in terms of colonization. People came from other places, saw that people had things, they wanted those things, and then sought out to figure out how to acquire those things by taking those things in various ways. Now, back to the personal dynamic. You cannot control the emotions of other people, and you are not responsible for another person feeling jealousy or feeling envy. You are, however, encouraged to be mindful of inviting such. And so let's think together about why inviting envy can become a major problem for you personally, professionally, socially, and otherwise. An important point for everyone to internalize is that no one has to like you or love you. Who someone likes or loves, that's a personal choice for them. It's similar to a food appetite. Some foods are desirable to some people and others are not. That's not to objectify people, but it's pretty much the same thing. And so people are not necessarily required to like certain foods or certain things. And so therefore, there may be people that they also just don't like. They don't have an affinity for them. And that's fine because everyone has differing tastes and differing interests in life. Think about yourself. You don't like everyone. You don't love everyone. And that's your choice. Well, everyone else has the same choice. Everyone is different. And every person has different interests, and those interests and those desires and those likes and loves, those are personal and they are each person's business. If you get a chance, I encourage you to check out or revisit the Sly Stone song entitled Everyday People. What you'll notice in there is this refrain talking about different strokes for different folks. And so I encourage you to listen to that and internalize that. But I want to talk a little bit about not simply the people who might not like you, but there are some people who don't simply dislike you. They take their thoughts and emotions related to you and other people to another level. They take it to another dimension, another time and space. So they not only dislike you, but they are obsessed with you and their emotions that are triggered by you simply existing in life. Now, typically we think of a mirror as something that people look into, and then it reflects back to the entity that is looking into the mirror an image of the self. However, that's not the way it always works with these mirrors for some people. For some people, other people serve as mirrors. This is something that I've coined the mirror of indictment or the mirror of accusation. And for some people, you have become one of these unusual mirrors. Okay? So they look at you and they don't see you. They see something reflecting back to them, speaking to them about what they are not. And so you serve as a mirror of accusation or indictment about something that is missing related to them. And so again, they don't see you. They see something that is speaking to them about themselves. And so you can become this mirror of jealousy and envy for some people. And remember, envy is jealousy coupled with the desire to destroy that which is envied. Okay? Sometimes people are jealous of people and things because they either believe they can't acquire it or they can't figure out how to acquire something that they desire. And one way to deal with that is to simply destroy the reminder of the thing that is desired. They don't like you and they don't want you to be well. They don't want you to do well because they are not well. And you doing well and you being well, that again is that mirror of indictment. Each encounter that some people have with you, it serves as a mirror. Each thought of you is like looking into this mirror and seeing your face versus their face and your life versus their life. And all of this, again, serves as this sort of indictment for them, a reminder for them about what is missing for them. And in many instances, what they believe they cannot acquire, they can't become, they can't achieve, whatever it is. It can be something as simple as you loving yourself and spending time with yourself, or you accomplishing something or doing something new, or just simply being well. If some people don't believe they can acquire that, then the next step for them, if they are on a pathological path, is to attempt to destroy it. And so therefore there may be these attempts to destroy you in many ways because that would get rid of this indicting mirror for many people. And keep in mind that many people can fall victim to this mirror of indictment, either being on the receiving end of this envy and jealousy, or the person who is experiencing the envy and jealousy in relation to another person. These entities that might be feeling this might be very close to you. They might be a parent, they might be your mother or your father, grandparent, grandmother, grandfather, aunts and uncles, cousins, siblings, your own children in some instances. It might include your spouse or what you consider to be your significant other or some best friend from back in childhood. And it can certainly manifest on the job. And so that's also a place where that might be readily apparent. And so that's where you have a lot of harassment that goes along with this, or discriminatory activities that go along with this dynamic. And so it can be going on just about anywhere and with anyone. And so when you see dynamics of sabotage, and so sabotaging relationships, sabotaging your career, sabotaging your opportunities, oftentimes what is at the heart of the sabotage is this mirror of indictment dynamic. This is one of the reasons why some people have to be judicious about sharing positive information about their lives and their experiences with others. Some people will view lives that are well lived as inspiration. Okay, so you might be doing something well, you might be improving some part of your life, something great might have happened to you, and for many people around you, that will serve as an inspiration. For others, however, that is going to serve as that indictment that we were just talking about. It's going to serve as an indictment or a reminder about what they are and where they are physically, mentally, socially, professionally, economically, emotionally. And so it's not going to serve as a catalyst for growth, okay? It's going to serve as a catalyst for resentment. And so that's why you might get these really weird reactions when you share something that is generally positive and potentially uplifting. So instead of attempting to change whatever it is that is going on in their own lives, these individuals will seek to destroy the mirror of indictment. And so what often takes place is these individuals will seek to bring other people down to whatever level they believe they are on. They might also seek to destroy the indicting image via destroying the actual person that serves as this constant reminder of what they are not, what they believe they do not have the capacity to become. And so in some instances, they might do things to destroy the person mentally, destroy the person socially, destroy the person professionally, destroy the person economically, emotionally, physically. Another dynamic to be mindful of regarding this mirror of indictment is that in some instances, there's not just this attempt to destroy that which is envied, but to minimize that which is envied. And so what you might note is that these certain individuals might actually simply minimize or ignore positive things that might be going on in your life or that might be going on for you. And so that's something also to be mindful of, sort of dismissing anything that is positive about your life, or on the flip side of that, magnifying things that are bad. And so they might be very quick to ignore the positive and elevate everything negative that they can figure out about you and your life. And so, because there are individuals who not only will minimize the positive things that are going on in your life, this positive information, this growth that you might be experiencing, they might not only minimize that, but of course, maximize and amplify all of the negative things that they can figure out. And so, you have to be very judicious about who you share your life with and how you share your life with these various people. And so there may be instances wherein you want to share your joy about this positive experience. You just have to be judicious about who you're sharing these positive things with. You also have to be uh, cautious about how you seek comfort from other people, because you might share information with other people in your circle about something that is negative going on in your life. And instead of you getting the comfort that you desire, those individuals will magnify all of this negativity. And so instead of comforting you, you end up being harmed yet again based upon the reactions of these particular entities. And so again, you just have to be judicious about what you share, how you share, and who you share things with. And you also need to manage your expectations based upon what you know about the people with which you are sharing. And it's not so much that they simply dislike another person. It's not that simple. They dislike the way they feel about themselves in the context of the other person. Okay? So it's not your problem how someone else feels about themselves or how they feel about you, even. It's not your business and it's not your problem to solve. Bitter people are not going to become super sweet simply because you are sweeter to them. Jealousy, envy, and bitterness are choices, and they often form parts of certain personalities. And so there is nothing that you can actually do to change the personality of another. Personality is a long-standing pattern of behavior, of attitude, of emotion, of ways of seeing the world. These are not things that you are going to change in another person. So don't even bother. Some people talk about how much they love someone else, how much they love being with someone else. The question is not about how much you love someone else. The question is about, do you love you in the context of someone else? Your business is about how you feel about you, how you treat you, and how you choose to engage the world and others in the world. No one has to like you but you. Their feelings about everything, that's their choice. So if someone doesn't like you, but you choose to continue trying to engage them, the issue is not them, but you at that point. And so you need to start asking yourself, if this is going on, what's going on with you that you have a need to like or love someone who neither likes nor loves you? And you certainly cannot look to these sorts of people to help you with your self-love or your self-care. That's not what they are there for. They are in your life for a reason, but that's not the reason. Okay. And so what you are encouraged to do is focus on being that which you like and that which you love while giving yourself that same kindness and regard that you might have previously sought from these other people who had neither genuine kindness nor regard to give to you. They don't have it to give. And under no circumstances should you be seeking it out, trying to get this blood from this turnip. It's not going to happen. This applies to family members, friends, frenemies, romantic interests, social acquaintances, colleagues and coworkers. Jealousy, bitterness, and narcissism, whether we're talking about covert narcissism or that overt narcissism, along with envy and strife, these things are contagious. They are all contagious. And if you are around them enough, you are going to catch whatever it is. And so if you are around it or exposed to it over and over and over again, you increase your risk of catching it. And while it's bad to be on the receiving end of jealousy, bitterness, narcissism, envy, strife, it's better to be on the receiving end of it than it is to be it. What that means is, to the best of your ability, reduce or minimize the extent to which you are exposed to these types of dynamics and these sorts of toxic people. Eventually, you become that surrounds you. Whatever surrounds you becomes a part of your intimate environment. And after a while, it becomes sort of like a soil. It's a part of your ecosystem. And you will start to take on the characteristics and the traits and the dynamics of the rest of the little flowers in that ecosystem. And so if the soil is contaminated, eventually you trying to grow in that contaminated soil with these toxic plants that are around you, that will eventually start to impact you and make it very difficult for you to flourish, to be all that you have been created to be. Remember, knowledge is power. Take care.